assess whether this is the right demography for you? While setting up your customer persona, most companies always land on this question. You're saying this region has potential, but how do I know it for sure? So, if you're wondering how to assess the geography, then this video is exactly what you need. Hi, I am Saranya Naranamurthy, your sales doctor. I run two companies, the Content Bot and Lyan.Digital. Content Bot is an SEO and AU agency wherein we ensure that our clients rank on the first page of Google whenever they prospect, look out for this services, and they are the answer to any search engine query or any chat GPT or an AI query, because come on, more than half of your searches right now happens on chat engines, right? Be it ChatGPT, Perplexity, Claude, or whatever tool that you're using. And we ensure that whenever customer have these questions, our clients are the answer to it. And under Lyan.Digital, we set up B2B sales automation system so that every process, right from lead generation until setting up an appointment, are completely seamless, automated, and saves the clients tons of time. So today, in the next 15 minutes, I am here to teach you more about how can you assess whether this demography is right for the sale of your services. Now, firstly, let us understand a few things, okay? If you want to know whether this target region has a lot of search volume in it, or even if you wanted to assess whether this is the right place for you, you need to ensure that there is a potential for sales. Ultimately, that's the one thing. So, in order to search for it, firstly, as a step one, go for a geo search of the target region. Now, what is a geo search? It is something like you're already checking out whether is this topic or is this service or product that I'm selling, is it predominantly available, relatively new, or is it having an awareness but people are not sure what it does, or is it a completely novel idea? Many chances are many times it's not novel, because anything would already be existing right now. But to what scale is it existing? Is it very common? Is it ideal, or is it completely rare? Is what we are looking at. So in order to find this, first we look for a competitor. Look for competitor and look at their positioning. So when you're looking at competitors, you would ideally look at how many other service providers are providing this exact same service that I'm offering. So when they are offering, what is their positioning? Have they positioned them as a great expert, which means they have the dense content and they have this super ultra, let's say, they have the super ultra positioning and they have everything pretty sorted so that they can do a lot of things, or do they just have a basic presence, or are they in a way that they're trying to connect through regional languages? So what exactly is it? Because when you understand more about the competitor positioning, you look for what your prospects are looking at, because from your competitors you will directly then lead to your prospects, and you will already have a predetermined customer persona, right? Like these are the prospects whom I'm providing the services. Now look whether these prospects are already available there, or look at for your customer persona what is the corresponding prospect to whom you can pitch. So now you have both a competitor, you know their positioning, and you also have a list of prospects who will fit in with your customer persona. Now, the next thing that you should do is look for search queries and search triggers. Which means, are these prospects looking for this competitor, and if they are looking for, in what way are they looking? Are they looking as a DIY, a done with you, or a done for you? Which means, similarly, are they looking for training or coaching, or are they looking for consulting and hand holding, or are they looking for service to be completely done? So, in what aspect are they looking at? In order to find out this, right, I would always say go to a search engine and do your searches, because more than social media, which is across demography, a search engine search will always give you geolocation based results. And this geolocation based result will ensure that you know whether is this region the right one for me. Because the more people have a pain point, the more people are searching, and the more the problems exist, ideally there is also a higher need for solutions. And if the solution already exists, it means there is always a demand. So if you see that there are more customers, don't be afraid of it. Just know that there's a lot of confusion in there. People are still unsure of which competitor to go with, because there are so many out there. And so if you are able to bring up a unique positioning, then that is the best asset that you can give yourself. Okay, so ensure to look at this. The next thing that you should check for is a customer pain and urgency exist. So are people actively facing the problem that your solution solves? Now how would you know this? You would know this by looking at, are they actively searching for solutions, or are they asking questions, or are they spending money on other alternatives? Because if your pain is strong and urgent, there is definitely a potential. So for this, ideally look at Google search volumes. Is the searches happening in higher volumes? Look at forums, look at other LinkedIn post or industry report, and look at all of these to see if this pain is real. Because if something exists for real, only then there is a willingness to pay. And willingness to pay is a clear indicator of what is your service worth, or is this industry even worth enough to put your effort in. And this willingness to pay will clearly depend on how your competitors are pricing. Remember, we spoke about the competitor positioning. Now, the reason why we spoke about that is to understand how are they positioning themselves in terms of both their brand positioning as well as their pricing. Are they pricing cheap prices for it? Are they quoting a premium price for it? Because if there is a premium pricing that's involved, it ideally means two things. Either other than this competitor, there are no many competitors over there, so the overall, let's say, the demand is lesser. Or on the other hand, there are too many out there, and there are a few people who want to position themselves as a go-to responsible people. So these responsible people who turn out to be the most sought out professionals usually go with the premium pricing. And if there are many you find with a premium pricing and a lot of others with a very nominal pricing, then you know that this is an industry that has the highest potential. And prospects see enough value to allocate budget. Because like I said, willingness to pay or how much budget is a prospect allocating for this is one of the very clear indicator of how important that particular service is. So find companies, find real examples of people who are spending on this and look at what is the budget that is locked for this need. And if the market has potential, because if your competitors are thriving, it clearly validates the demand. And if there is no competition at all, like I said, it might be a red flag. So the sweet spot is where, yes, there is a lot of competition and there is a premium segment, and this is exactly where I can differentiate. The next thing is accessibility of buyers. Now, before you get in or you go all in, always ensure you take a smaller population and you test it out. No matter what your theoretical report says, no matter what your industry analysis says, no matter what anyone says, try pitching for a focus group, a pilot, and check if you are getting responses. Can you reach out to decision makers through proper channels that you can afford for your marketing budget? Because there can be a lot of people, but if they are not reachable to you, if the accessibility is not there, then it doesn't make any sense, right? So if the market is too closed or requires a huge upfront investment, the potential is limited. So try connecting events, try gathering responses, try running a pilot group and check how it works. Because that's exactly how you make unit economics work. The cost of acquiring the customer should be very less than what you earn. So that is what defines the lifetime value of the customer. And this ensures that your margins are healthy even after your sales and delivery. Because if you can't make money sustainably, then the market doesn't really have a true potential for you. So check out all of these elements before you get into a newer market. Because let's say identifying a new market would almost look very exciting because that's something new that you're doing and that's the shiny syndrome. But if you're not able to crack it there, almost all efforts that you put would be in vain. So ensure that you check out all of these queries, ensure that you track all of these for yourself and then get in. So, if you have any questions for me on this record, or if you think you are in a specific situation and you wanted solutions, do drop me a comment and I'll certainly look forward to responding to yours. And if you want to learn more about B2B sales, B2B strategies, how to grow your business, how to generate sales, and especially how can you train my sales team, then this channel is exactly what for you. So, subscribe to this YouTube channel and I'll meet you soon in the next episode. So, until then, keep learning, keep building your business because ultimately your business has just you. Signing off for now, Saranya Narayanamurthy, your sales doctor. Let's close some sales.